Hello and welcome to The Print. I'm Sagrika Kissu, and right now I am in Kashmir's Anantnag in Kazibagh village, and right behind me is the house of Sarla Bhatt. Now you must be thinking why I'm talking about Sarla Bhatt and this house. Sarla Bhatt was a Kashmiri Pandit woman who was killed in April 1990. And after 35 years, her case has been reopened by the State Investigative Agency of Jammu and Kashmir Police. The Sarla Bhatt case was a turning point in the exodus of Kashmiri Pandits. Her targeted killing had sent shockwaves across the Kashmiri Pandit community who were fleeing overnight to escape targeted killings. Sarla Bhatt, who was a nurse at SKIMS in Shora, Srinagar, was abducted and killed. There are rumors about her being raped, but those rumors are not yet verified by the police. Sarla Bhatt's killing is not the only killing reopened by the State Investigative Agency. There are multiple other killings, including the Vandama massacre, in which Kashmiri Pandits in the Vandama village were lined up in the middle of the night and 23 of them were shot dead. Apart from Vandama massacre, the cases of Tikalal Taplu, who was a judge, and Neelkant Ganju have also been reopened. But why are we talking about Sarla Bhatt's case? Because SIA has launched multiple raids across Kashmir to identify and collect evidence for the killing. It has been 35 years, and collecting and gathering evidence is a big challenge for the agency. But they are on it, and they are saying that they might see a breakthrough very soon. The print is on the ground to bring you details on the case, what the investigative agency is doing.
A note recovered from Bhatt's body has become the key piece of evidence in the investigation. The note read, "This girl has been killed by JKLF for being a mukhbir to the CID." It ended with two signatures of Jammu and Kashmir Liberation Front terrorists claiming responsibility. The SIA has denied any evidence of Bhatt's involvement in passing information to the CID. At the time of her death, she was a nurse at the Sher-e-Kashmir Institute of Medical Sciences in Srinagar. The SIA said the killing followed a general protocol used in the targeted killings of Kashmiri Pandits during the 1990s. Now, the SIA have returned to the old school investigative methods, launching elaborate raids across Srinagar with the same note in hand. They are matching the handwriting. The SIA is also examining the possible role of Bhatt's colleagues, including the then head of department, Ahad Guru, in potentially facilitating JKLF terrorists' entry into the institute, which eventually led to Bhatt's abduction. After more than 3 decades, the SIA is now shouldering the burden of procedural lapse, botched investigations, and missing files. In April 1990, shortly after Bhatt's murder, 2 JKLF terrorists were killed in an encounter. Their weapons were seized but never subjected to ballistic analysis to check if they matched the weapon used in the murder. Even the handwriting on the note was never compared with documents recovered from the JKLF operatives over the years. 8 JKLF operatives were involved in the killing. 1 is in Pakistan, 3 are dead, 1 is in jail, and 2 are out on bail.
The print is in Jammu to meet the family of Sarla Bhatt, to meet the relatives of Sarla Bhatt, to understand what transpired in April 1990 when a 27-year-old woman who was working at SKIMS in Srinagar was brutally killed, tortured, and her body thrown in the middle of the street in Srinagar's downtown. We met the family, who were reluctant to speak on the camera. They said that 35 years of grief, and now the case has been reopened. They have a simple question. Where was the government until now? Why has the government and the authorities woken up now? And in all these 35 years, will they be able to bring justice to Sarla Bhatt?
When Sarla's body was brought home, a hand grenade was hurled at the main door, a welcome the family never forgot. They never learned who carried out the attack. Kashmiri Hindus and Muslims both were coming to our house to offer condolences. It was impossible to know who could have done something so insensitive, said Sarla's younger sister. From that moment until her cremation, they kept the windows shut and the door bolts fastened, fearing another strike. But what happened the day after the cremation still sends shivers down her sister's spine. She recalled that when her father and other men of the house had gone to bring her ashes, they were stopped by a group of men, trying to snatch the bag from their hands. They threatened and said that your daughter was an informer and responsible for the killing of 10 militants. Her younger sister said, remembering what her father told her about the incident. That very night, the family left Kashmir and their house in Qazi Bagh. And now, every year from 12th to 14 April, as the exact date of Sarla's death remains unknown, her sister, brother, and parents mourn her loss and make donations to the poor in her memory. The post-mortem of Sarla's body had ruled out rape, the family said, but she was brutally tortured, they said. Cigarette burns on her wrists and neck. The news of Butt's killing received little attention in the newspapers. But Kashmiri journalist Ahmad Ali Fayaz continued speaking about her over the years, through talk shows, in his articles, and now after the case has been reopened on social media. In the 1990s, SCIMS was the main hideout of several militant organizations. Quote, professors and HODs were openly identifying themselves with the militant organizations. One would find posters of guerrilla groups on the walls and corridors, said Fayaz. Sarla Butt's killing coincided with the hospitalization of now jailed JKLF leader Yasin Malik at SCIMS. Fayaz recalled that Malik had injured himself while jumping from a third-floor window during a search operation and was admitted to the hospital posing as a civilian. Quote, militants would call SCIMS IMS, removing Sher-e-Kashmir from its name. Such was the hatred against the National Conference and Sheikh Abdullah. Fayaz added. According to a senior official, around Yasin Malik's stays at SCIMS, the hospital's then head of department, Ahad Guru, now deceased, was arrested and later released after interrogation. Given Guru's proximity to JKLF, the militant group scanned through the profiles of employees working at the hospital during Yasin Malik's stay, said the officer. The JKLF suspected a mole had leaked the information that led to Guru's arrest. Quote, it is said that someone close to Sarla gave her name, saying she was a Kashmiri Pandit and therefore an obvious suspect, the official noted.
Let me take you to what happened in 1990 April. Sarla Butt, a nurse at SCIMS Sora in Srinagar, when she was returning from the hospital to her hostel when she was abducted in the middle of the night, and after 3 days her body was found in the streets of downtown. The family for the 3 days didn't know where their daughter is. Sarla Butt used to visit home in Anantnag's Qazi Bagh every Saturday and Sunday to meet her family. But that Saturday and Sunday she didn't come. The family got scared. They planned to find her out, but before they could, a body was found in the middle of the street with a note in the pocket of her kurta. The note said that Jammu and Kashmir Liberation Front takes a responsibility of this incident, for this girl was an informer. The SIA says that the girl was falsely accused of being an informer. But what is an informer in this case? Let me tell you that informer in this case was that she was divulging the details of the militants to the Indian police authorities. This is what the militants meant by when they said that she was an informer. The police has said that she was not. The family said that she didn't know anything. She was only concerned about her work, about living a good, decent life. She was preparing to leave Kashmir, and these were her last days at Skim Sora. She was wrapping up her work and planning to go to Jammu with her parents because the situation in Kashmir was very bad. It was tense, it was charged. The insurgency, the terrorism was at its peak. Now, after 35 years, we are seeing that the case has been reopened, but it is to be seen that will the SIA or the Jammu and Kashmir administration bring justice to the family of Sarla Bhatt and also to the other Kashmiri Pandits who were killed in 1990s under the garb of being informers to the Jammu and Kashmir police, to the Indian authorities. The SIA told the print that they have reopened 43 cases, including the Vandama massacre which took place in Vandama village in Ganderbal in 1998, in which 23 Kashmiri Pandits were rounded up, lined up outside their houses and killed and shot dead one by one. Before I close this, I want to say again that 35 years is a long, long time, and it is to be seen, will the government be able to give justice to the families of Kashmiri Pandits who were killed for being informers or Hindus, that the government will tell us. This was Sagrika Kissu for The Print from Jammu and Kashmir. Keep following us for more such videos.